Hey guys, it's me again, Eric here at Mountaintop 9, and I'm back with another unboxing video. I'm going to be showing off some movies I've been buying lately. Like I told you in the last video, I've really been just going crazy lately trying to catch up with all of the cool Blu-Rays that I've been missing out on because for a while I just wasn't, keeping up to date with new releases that are coming out. And I'll tell you, it's kind of funny, man. Back about 10 years ago, if you would have told me that I would be so into watching horror movies in high definition, I wouldn't have believed you because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I didn't give a shit about stuff like that. I was fine with just standard definition DVD releases, and that's all that mattered to me. But I'll tell you what, over time, what happens is you get used to seeing high definition transfers, and once you get used to seeing that, once you get used to seeing all of the eye-popping detail in these movies that you've grown up watching, that you've grown accustomed to seeing them a certain way. But then once you see them in high definition and you see all these details popping out and you see all the colors that are just looking real vivid and eye-popping, I mean, you get used to that. And once you do, it's really hard to go back to watching things in standard definition. When I watch, like for instance, I'll tell you what, the other night I was watching this movie. It's a comedy, all right, that my wife told me about. It's called Beach Balls. And so I'm going to get off on a tangent here for a minute, but hear me out. I'll tell you the story. So the other night we were watching a movie called Hard Bodies. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's from 1984, and it's one of those it's one of those comedies, one of those raunchy, Porky's-inspired comedies. You know, they churned those out like crazy in the 80s. So anyway, yeah, it's called Hard Bodies. We were watching that on Tubi. And then she started talking about this movie called Beach Balls that she saw back in the day. Turns out that this movie Beach Balls is from 1988. And anyway, let me tell you, I was skeptical at first when she was telling me about this movie. When she first mentioned Beach Balls, I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, it sounds like Meatballs. You know the movie Meatballs? So anyway, I was like, okay, Beach Balls. So the next night she told me, she was like, yeah, I found it. They got the full movie up on YouTube. It's on YouTube. And as soon as she said that to me, I was like, oh man, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be a rip from an old VHS or an old DVD release. And sure enough, that's what it turned out to be. This movie Beach Balls that they have, remember, it's from 1988 if you guys want to watch it, because guess what? I recommend it. It's a funny movie. Beach Balls is a really funny movie. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Sure enough, when I looked it up on YouTube, it did turn out to be that it's from a DVD rip, and the DVD was put out back in like 2005 or some shit like that. So, at first, when I started watching Beach Balls the other night, I was complaining. I was talking about, man, it's too bad that this is in standard def, that it's not a new Blu-ray transfer, because I was saying how, you'd see all the details of the beach popping out, you'd see the granules of the fucking sand, you'd see the waves crashing, because I've gotten so used to high definition. Even that movie Hard Bodies that I had watched the night before, it was a new transfer, so it was in high definition. You could see all of the detail of the sand and the beach and the girl's hair and just everything. And so the sad thing is that this movie Beach Balls is a really funny, good movie. It actually blows Hard Bodies out of the fucking water. It's a way better movie than Hard Bodies. But sadly, it doesn't have a new HD transfer. So anyway, I hope that movie Beach Balls gets an HD transfer someday. Some company should put that movie out on Blu-ray, because it is a good 80s comedy. It's a really entertaining movie, way better than Hard Bodies. But anyway, I use that to illustrate my point. Now when I look at a movie and it's an old DVD or a VHS, it looks blurry to me. It's not eye-pleasing to me. I've just gotten so used to and spoiled at watching these Blu-ray transfers. And a lot of times for a lot of horror movies that are up on Tubi, for example, they use those new transfers in a lot of cases. But anyway, nothing beats owning the movie for yourself. That's the very important thing about buying these movies, buying them and having a physical copy, is because you never know when those streaming services are going to take down that movie that you want to watch. And that's why it's very important to have your own personal library of movies, because these streaming companies, that they just they'll license out titles for a certain amount of time, and when those licenses expire, boom, they take the movie away and you can't watch it anymore. And also, the great thing about these Blu-rays is the awesome cover art. I'll tell you what, these Blu-ray companies now are really making sure you get a nice collectible package, because they're putting out really good cover art now that blows away the shit they were doing at the dawn of the DVD age. At the very beginning of DVD, a lot of the covers were very boring. And even though the discs themselves would cater to collectors with things like audio commentaries and documentaries and interviews and stuff, they weren't going all out on the packaging. Nowadays, these boutique labels, I hate saying that word boutique. There's something about I say it wrong. I don't like the fucking sound of it out of my mouth. But anyway, these labels are really going to great lengths to give you a nice, eye-catching package. I'm just loving the slip sleeves and all the reverse cover art that are in these Blu-rays. So you have that security of knowing that you're never going to lose access to the movie because you own a physical copy. You've got the awesome cover artwork, and then in addition to that, you've got the audio commentaries, you've got the behind-the-scenes making-ofs, you've got interviews, all of that stuff. You can't get that when you're just streaming a movie on Tubi or on some app, you know? So that's the important thing. So sometimes you may want to check out a movie first on streaming before you commit to buying it. I understand that. But make sure if it's a movie you like that you get it physically so that you always have it. But anyway, all of that out of the way, let me start showing you some of the movies that I've been buying. Now, one more thing before I show you the first one. I had to just grab a stack. I'm not showing you everything in this one video that I've been buying. I've got so many movies that have been coming in, all right, that I've been purchasing, that if I did a massive like show and tell for every movie I've been buying, there'd be too many. So I'm spreading them out over multiple videos. But without any further ado, let's get to the first release, shall we? So the first movie I want to show you today is, this is from Unearthed Films, okay? This release is from Unearthed Films, and it's Confessions of a Serial Killer. Now, what I need to tell you about this movie, first of all, well, let's see. The disc inside here, the cover here, it's just the same cover. It's not a different cover art. So, what is noteworthy about this movie, Confessions of a Serial Killer? Well, have you ever seen the movie Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer? Okay, this movie blows that movie out of the fucking water. Any day of the week, I've always thought that. I first watched the movie Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer back when I was in high school. I was probably like 15 years old, some shit like that. And I'd heard all of this hype about Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, you know, Gore Zone magazine back in the day, and Fangoria, and you know, you'd see all this hype in the horror media that Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer was just the most disturbing, riveting, raw portrait of a serial killer movie ever made. And then I watched Henry, and yeah, you know that, who's the actor in there? I forget his fucking name right now, but the guy that plays Henry in that, I keep wanting to say Mickey Rourke, but that ain't his fucking, is it Michael Rooker? I think that's his name, Michael Rooker. And then it's got the guy that plays Otis, is a good actor as well. So it's got good acting, that movie, Henry does. But it's nowhere near as disturbing as what the writing back at the time, the hype machine that movie had. That movie just had a lot of hype about it, and it doesn't live up to it. It's nowhere near as disturbing as what people would tell you. But this movie, Confessions of a Serial Killer, this movie is more disturbing. It's more gritty. It's just a very raw movie. This movie right here, I love the look of it. It just has, like I just said a minute ago, it has a very gritty look to it. It's got a grainy look to it. It's very much of its time. If you like a really raw 80s looking movie, boy, oh boy, this movie really sells that kind of atmosphere. This movie, it probably was shot in Texas. I'm pretty sure that it probably was. I haven't listened to the commentary track yet, but the actor in this movie, the guy that portrays the serial killer, all right? His name's Robert Burns, and this guy is, first and foremost, what Robert Burns is known for is that he's dead now, but he was a production designer. And I'm sure you've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? Sure you have. Every horror fan's seen Texas Chainsaw 1974. Well, here's the point. That Tobe Hooper classic, Robert Burns is the mastermind behind the production design for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Texas Chainsaw. Robert Burns is the guy responsible for decorating that old farmhouse with all of those bones and all the props, just all of that sick stuff that really brings that movie to life and gives it the raw, uncompromising look that it does. Robert Burns is the man responsible for that. And so that kind of gives you an idea of how talented this guy was. Well, Robert Burns, he did the production design on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He did work on The Howling, Reanimator. He also directed a kick-ass movie that I really love and that really, really deserves a Blu-ray release, and I really hope that one day it gets one. And that movie is Mongrel. I believe it was made in 1982. Well, anyway, Robert Burns is the director of Mongrel, and it's a really, really, really cool movie. I've highly recommended it on my channel before. But anyway, that's who Robert Burns is. And in this movie, Confessions of a Serial Killer, Robert Burns is the lead actor. He plays the killer in this movie, and he does a damn fine job, man. I mean, he really sells the role like sleaze just radiates off of him. I mean, he has this very uneasy, sleazy feeling to the portrayal. And man, you buy it right away that this is one fucked up dude. And he's definitely someone that you would not trust to be left alone with anyone that you care about. Because, I mean, and he does it so effortlessly in this movie. It's just a really good movie. As you're watching this movie and you're seeing the killers drive around out in the fucking just cruising the highway out there, and it's kind of like got this like desert like atmosphere. It looks to me, I think it was shot in Texas. And anyway, you can just feel the heat and the sweat and the grime just radiating. You can feel it radiating off the screen as you watch this movie. So I can't praise this movie enough. Confessions of a Serial Killer. It's based on the true life case of Henry Lee Lucas. That's why I mentioned Portrait of a Serial Killer. That's why I mentioned that movie, because they're both based off of a true life case. But this one does it a million times better. It's sleazier. It's more disturbing. It's way more disturbing than that fucking movie. This movie doesn't pull any punches, okay? It really doesn't. This is a good movie, and it will make you feel dirty watching it. So I highly recommend this one. Grab this one from Unearthed Classics. You definitely won't regret watching this one if you're into movies of this nature. Now, What's the next movie I want to show you? All right? The next movie I want to show you is called Girls' School Screamers. It's sharpening, and you can see that real good. What I love about these Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray releases, about these slip sleeves, I love how they're embossed a lot of times, okay? Like, see this worm coming out of the nose here? It's embossed, this stuff, okay? And it's got, you can like touch and feel this stuff. It's really cool. Check out the back of this slip sleeve. The extra artwork they got here. Look at that. Isn't that cool? All right. And then let's see what the artwork they got in here. Look at this artwork. You see what I mean about how collectible these releases are? Look at that. That's beautiful. That is gorgeous right there. Girls' School Screamers. Look at that artwork. Now, what do I got to say about this one? Girls' School Screamers is a very interesting 80s slasher movie. It's one of those movies where it mixes the supernatural in, okay? So this isn't just a pure slasher movie. It's got elements of the supernatural mixed in, and it's got some good atmosphere at parts. This kind of movie, the person who did the score for this movie, he did a really good job because it's pretty creepy, the work he did. I used to think that the music was better than this movie deserved, but that was back when I used to watch it off of a dirty, old, blurry-ass transfer. Okay, this movie was originally put out in the VHS days by Lightning Video, and that VHS is just dark and dingy. And then in the early days of DVD, who was it that put it out? Troma. Troma put it out in the early days of DVD, and that DVD wasn't much better as far as transfer. This Blu-ray that Vinegar Syndrome put out, woo! I'm telling you what, guys, the colors, the detail, it is so sharp, man. Such a good transfer, and it actually improved my enjoyment of the film. It really did. I think this movie is better than the credit I used to give it. I used to think this movie was just okay. But I think it's pretty damn good. I actually think this movie is worth a watch just for the creepiness that it gives off at times. It does a good job of giving you kind of an uneasy atmosphere. It's not a great movie by any means, but I really, really like the music. And just certain shots are very stylish in this movie, especially the last shot in this movie. Just a very stylish way to end the film. So yeah, Girls' School Screamers. Don't sleep on this one. Check it out sometime. You might just like it. All right, so I got that one. Now, here's one that I've reviewed on the channel before. Terror at 10 Killer. Now, look at that. Look at that cover. How can you not like that cover right there? Do you not love that fucking cover? Look at it. Just look at it. Hopefully it's sharpening up. Look at that cover. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's artwork, my friends. Here, look at the back of this slipcase. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I'm telling you what, you've got to give major, major credit to Vinegar Syndrome for this slip sleeve right here. That is fucking awesome. I love that. And I love this, all right? You're appealing to the right fucking demographic when you give me slip covers like this. I got to tell you that. Now, speaking of, and I'm going to get into something about this here in a minute. So let's look. Here's the classic cover. Of course, this is the cover we're all used to from that they used on the old United VHS, okay? And the original DVD release. Now, this movie, Terror at 10 Killer, I actually like this movie a lot better nowadays than I used to. I never disliked Terror at 10. I never disliked it, but it didn't used to be one that I would say is really, really good. But nowadays, I think this movie's a lot better, kind of like Girls' School Screamers, but this movie's even better than Girls' School Screamers. I really like this one. I love the setting. This movie was shot in Oklahoma, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was shot in Oklahoma, and I just love movies that are set out, that are shot out in those kind of locations. You know what I mean? Nothing beats. That's the thing you gotta love, guys, about these classic horror movies and classic slasher movies, is the sense of authenticity that they give you. When you can look at real locations, when you can look at a movie, it may not even be a great fucking movie. It may be a movie like The Majorettes, okay? That's really just a B movie. But there's a charm to watching a movie where you see an atmosphere, you see scenery that hits home with you. And you're like, that looks like a place I live at, okay? It looks like a place down the fucking street. Well, that's what makes a movie hit harder with you, when you feel that sense of immediacy because of the setting. And yeah, this movie does that in droves for me. Terror 10 Killer. I love the scenery in this movie, the setting. I love the two main girls in this movie. It's a fun movie. And I'll tell you what, something I want to point out about this movie. My only beef with this movie is actually as far as the killer in the movie, the main character. I noticed in my old review, I didn't point this out. But when I was watching this movie a month or two ago, it hit me, and it was really annoying me as I was watching this movie. In this movie, the killer, okay, he lives out in the middle of nowhere. You know, they're out by this lake and everything, and there's hardly any girls in the fucking movie, right? And for some reason, every girl that is in the movie, though, and there's only a small handful. I mean, we're talking about an abandoned place where there are no fucking women at all, okay? Except a small handful that you ever see in the movie. And this guy's killing every damn woman in the fucking movie. And you're like, what is this guy doing? These women like him. They like this ugly motherfucker. All right, this guy's face he's got all these caverns and creaks in his face. He is not no fucking Brad Pitt by any stretch of the imagination. This guy should feel lucky that any girl is even looking at him and giving him the time of day. And he's got the nerve to just be going around icing all these women. I was thinking that as I was watching it a few nights ago. It's like, why is this guy doing this? Every girl in this fucking movie likes this guy and gives him the benefit of the doubt, and they let him get close, and then he fucking snuffs them out. And it's just really annoying. I mean, because I'll tell you what, you see this cover right here? This is really what they look like in this movie, the girls. That this guy is cutting down for no reason. You never get any backstory as to why he has this psychology, why he's a psychotic and doing what he's doing. At least if they gave a backstory and they said, oh, he was did that tired old trope where they say he was abused by his mother, or something else to explain his tendencies. But they don't do that. He has no fucking backstory. He's just some stupid ass ugly dude. And even though all the girls like him, he's icing them. To the point where I was watching it and I said to myself, I don't know what this guy's ultimate goal is. He lives by a fucking lake where there are 5 women in the entire town. What's he gonna do when all of them are gone? What the fuck's he gonna do then? What's his point? So anyway, that's my rant about Terror 10 Killer, and it's just about the character. You understand? It's not about the quality of the movie. I think this is a good movie. I just question the killer's motives. Like, what's his fucking motive? Where's he gonna go? You know, at the end of this, why is he doing what he's doing? But anyway, fun movie, Terror 10 Killer. Definitely don't sleep on this release because look at the artwork. And you want to have these special features as well. Whew! Alright, guys, I'll tell you what, I've only made it through 3 movies here. Let's see how many I got left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 more to go. Alright? Let's look at this one. Don't Go in the House. You guys know I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. This is the Severin video release, okay? And what I used to have is I used to have the old Media Blasters DVD release. Well, now I got this bad boy right here, the Severin video. This is the slipcase right here, okay? Now, check this out. Check out what they did with the original artwork on the inside. Is that badass or what? Look at that. Look what they did there. You see how they colored it? Isn't that cool? Look how they colored it. That is so cool. So anyway, I love what they did here. There's a lot of bonus features on this thing. And I haven't even checked out all the bonus features on this disc yet. Have not even cracked this one into the Blu-ray player. But when I do, I'm sure I'm going to find something to enjoy about it. First of all, I can't wait to see the transfer that's on this. Okay, that old Media Blasters DVD had mistakes on it. It had scenes that were cropped incorrectly, like that legendary scene where the killer's got the girl. All right, he's got that naked, the naked girl. He's got her tied in that room that he's constructed, and he's gonna use that flamethrower on her. Well, anyway, that scene, though, is cropped wrong on that old Media Blasters DVD. And I'm sure that wasn't the only mistake. So it's going to be really cool to see this movie in the correct aspect ratio and hear all the special features and everything. This is a really sick, sorted movie. You know, if you like movies like Maniac and Nightmare, Pieces, you know, Confessions of a Serial Killer. If you like stuff like that, then you're going to like Don't Go in the House if you haven't seen it yet. So definitely don't sleep on this one. I'm really glad I picked this one up. I really wanted this. As soon as I saw that someone had put out a really, really good release of Don't Go in the House, I said, man, I got to grab that one. So glad to have that one. I'm going to open it up. Look, even the discs inside have cover arts. See how they have like different different artworks on the discs? Isn't that cool? All right, the next movie I want to show you that I got is Hard Rock Nightmare. Look at that right there. This was put out by, I think they're called Dark Force Entertainment. Is that what it's called? It's Dark Force is the bottom line that put this out. And I remember first hearing of Dark Force because Bill Olson of Code Red DVD, who sadly is no longer with us, he was like the co-founder, I think, of Dark Force. He's not around running it anymore. Now it's somebody else. Somebody else is running it. But anyway, Bill Olson was the one that was around at the start of Dark Force. I know that much. And anyway, this one's called Hard Rock Nightmare, and it is a fun movie. Don't sleep on this one. Definitely check it out. It's a good, cheesy horror flick. It's directed by the same guy that did... Have you seen Evil Laugh? All right. Did you like Evil Laugh? It's another cheesy 80s slasher. It was directed by Dominic Brascia. He's the guy that... You know that fat guy in Friday the 13th Part 5 that gets axed? You know, where he's pissing off that fucking guy. He's going up to the guy that's chopping wood. This guy's really pissed off. He just wants to be left alone. He's chopping wood. Who knows what this guy's been through in his life, all right? So, picture this. You've seen the movie. He's over there chopping wood. He wants to be left alone. And then this guy, played by Dominic Brascia, he goes over and he keeps pushing a candy bar in his face and going, here, you want to try my candy bar? It's really good. You want to try my candy bar? And this guy's like, I don't want, you know, he basically is telling him. He's intimating to him through nonverbal gestures. He's saying, hey, get away from me. I don't want a fucking candy bar. I just want to chop this wood. The guy's probably envisioning bodies as the axe is going down repeatedly. You know what I mean? And so, but no, Joey, I believe that was the character in Friday 13th Part 5. He just keeps pushing it. And then finally, he gets mouthy with the guy. Don't ever go up to a pissed off guy that's got an axe and he's slamming it down repeatedly. Don't walk up to a guy that's got a fucking axe in his hand and try to tempt him and try to piss him off. Try to insult him. That's like throwing gasoline on a fire. So sure enough, you know, that dude, he turns and he chops that guy up, man. He chops old Joey right the fuck up. So anyway, my point is that overweight character, all right, the Joey character that's eating the candy bar, he's played by a guy named Dominic Brascia. Well, Dominic Brascia directed Evil Laugh, and he also directed this movie, Hard Rock Nightmare. Okay? And it's a good movie. I hadn't seen this one for the longest time. I'd seen Evil Laugh. I've known about Evil Laugh for years. Okay? That's one ever since I was in middle school or high school I was into Evil Laugh. I always loved that movie. But this movie back in the VHS days had a really, it didn't really have a VHS cover that really like grabbed your attention. So even though I was aware of it, I had never watched it. But I was on Tubi, when did I watch this? About 3 months ago. And saw it on Tubi and I was like, Hard Rock Nightmare. What's that all about? I was like, I might as well give that a try. You get to a point, guys, where when you've seen nearly every horror movie you can think of, and that's the way it is for me a lot of times. I feel like I've seen like everything there is worth seeing. And so occasionally, when you find this chestnut and you see it just beckoning you, and you're like, I don't remember that movie. What's that movie? And then you put it on, you're like, oh, take me back to the 80s. Take me back to that atmosphere that I love, to the time period I love. Finally, I'm watching a movie I haven't seen yet that's from a time that I love. That's how I felt when I put on Hard Rock Nightmare 3 months ago. I was like, oh man, I'm kind of glad I had never seen this until now, because it just shows that I'm still seeing things that I had missed. So anyway, it's a fun movie. It's entertaining. And, you know, if you like Dominic Brascia's other movie, Evil Laugh, you'll like this one too. All right, guys. The other movie I got, this Blu-ray has probably been out for a few years now, but I just never picked it up because, like I said, a few years ago, I wasn't really buying Blu-rays. I was mostly just still buying DVDs. Well, this is a very, very cool Shout Factory Blu-ray release of the classic Black Christmas. Now, do I like this cover? No. I do not like these kinds of covers. I fucking hate these kind of covers. Guys, who else agrees with me that when you have a cover like this, with this much shit going on that it's too busy, who likes this shit? Who likes these kind of covers where there's 15 different fucking people standing around? Your eyes aren't drawn. I guess here's the way I'd put it, guys. When you have a cover like this, okay, where there's this many different characters standing around and all this shit going on, it's so busy that when you look at it, your eyes aren't drawn to a pivotal, like crucial, just raw, hard-hitting thing. You know what I mean? Remember how I was showing you guys the new artwork that they did for Terror at 10 Killer on that slip sleeve? And what do you see? You just see that beautiful womanly figure there in that swimsuit, and your eyes are just drawn to it. And then you have that danger lurking in the background. That's how you do a cover. That beckons your eyes. That draws you into this singular source that's just captivating you. Whereas when you look at a fucking cover like this, and people love this shit. Evidently, there are people out there that love covers like this. I don't understand you guys. I don't fucking understand you. Because you got to go, oh, look at that over there. And look at that. 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 It doesn't do it for me, guys. I want to look at a horror cover and just be just have that gut punch, just an instantaneous reaction. You're just looking at one image and it's so strong. It has one central theme, one central impression that it's trying to level you with. That's what I like on a horror cover. Not a horror cover that draws every fucking person that appeared in the movie. It draws them in some pose. What does that do for you? Why do you like that? Who likes that stuff? Honestly, let me know in the comments if you like covers like that have every character that was in the fucking movie. Because what it reminds me of is it reminds me of when The Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend and American Werewolf in Paris and all that shit. When that stuff started in the 90s, that's when they started making horror poster artwork where instead of having a really cool, captivating artwork, okay, they would just have the different actors all lined up and posing and showing all their faces, all their heads. I've hated that ever since it started. And to me, these kind of artworks where they draw every fucking character from the movie, what is that? What is that? Do you think that this is better than the original artwork that they used for the poster where, you know, it's got the drawing of the girl with the fucking bag over her head in the rocking chair? I mean, that's a better image than this. And I have no problem with people coming up with new horror images for movies. That's why I'm so, was psyched to show you the Terror at 10 Killer. Because it's so damn cool. That's new artwork and it kicks ass. But this is new artwork and it sucks. It's sanitized, okay? It's clean. It's pretty. It's by the books. It's boring. But anyway, that's enough of my rant about the cover. The Blu-ray itself, this is packed with special features, and I'm sure the transfer is going to be beautiful. And despite me ranting about this cover, I'm sure that I'm going to love this release. Black Christmas is a classic. You know I love it. So there's no reason for me to, rave about this movie right now. I've raved about it many times in the past. If you don't like Black Christmas, I don't know what to tell you. This movie's a classic. So I am very glad to have this, and I'm glad that it's got the Bob Clark commentary on it. One of these days, guys, I've got to make a video that's dedicated purely to Bob Clark and Alan Ormsby and Jeff Gillen. You know, those guys in the early 70s, man, churning out classic horror. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Death Dream. Deranged. Black Christmas. Those are like this, those are holy horror movies. You know what I mean? In a class all by their own. That's what the word holy means. It means set apart. And that's what movies like Black Christmas and Death Dream and Deranged and Children Should Play with Dead Things, they are in a class of their own. They are classic 70s horror films that I just love. And I need to do a video all about just that contribution that those dudes made in the 70s to horror and how much I love their stuff. But anyway, guys, let's get through the last few here. I'll tell you what, guys. I was used to always shooting reviews where I'm just talking about one movie. But these unboxings where I'm showing off the discs, I end up talking about a lot of different things. All right. So here we have another Vinegar Syndrome release. And this is for The Carpenter. Look at that cover. Look at Wings Hauser there. This movie kicks ass. It's so much fun. It's very surreal. It's offbeat. The company that put out on the inside here, it's just the same cover. Now, there might be a reversible artwork in here. I don't know. But it looks like there's some good special features on here. And the release of The Carpenter that I had before was the DVD release from Scorpion. Okay, Scorpion put out a DVD of this back in the early 2010s or something. But I am so happy to have this one now from Vinegar Syndrome, because I'm sure it's going to be a good, worthy release for such a cool, funny, offbeat movie. definitely pick this one up. All right. Here's another movie from Vinegar Syndrome. This one is Who Done It? Also known... Now, let's look at the back of that real quick before I... See that? Hopefully these are sharpening and you can see them. Look at that artwork. A lot of you have probably seen this artwork. This was what the artwork was on the VHS back in the day. Island of Blood. This is a fun 80s slasher movie. It's kind of known for the fact that in the killings in this movie, when characters are getting killed off in it, there's like this punk song that plays, and it's always repeating whatever's happening to the character getting killed off. So for example, if someone's like getting boiled alive or some shit, the punk song will be saying things like, boil me, boil me. It's this really weird trope throughout the movie where this punk song keeps repeating the things, whether it's burn me, boil me, boil me. It's really cheesy. I haven't watched this one in a while, but that punk song that plays throughout it is very memorable. And yeah, Island of Blood, also known as Who Done It? I've got to give this one another watch. It's been a long time since I've seen this one, guys. So other than that punk song that replays a lot, I'm kind of drawing blanks on it, but I'm going to give it a watch again. Alright, guys. I'm so psyched about this release right here. Video Violence. I have always loved that cover art. You know, back in the VHS days, this is just a classic cover from the VHS days, from that era. And what's so cool about it is just the immediacy of it, you identify with it, because what did we do growing up then? We watched videos, okay? We went to the fucking video store. That was a part of our culture as horror fans. You talk to any horror fan from any walk of life, and the one thing that they'll identify with you about, if they're of our age group or older, is they can identify with, yeah, man, I loved going into the video store. I loved going immediately to the horror section and seeing what was on display, what horror movies there were. That was just everything to us, man. If you were a horror fan, that was everything. That's what you looked forward to so much. And still to this day, I pine for that feeling of finding a new video store. And then even when you would, so you have that initial discovery of a really good video store that has a good horror section. If it had a big enough horror section, you'd look forward to the next time of going back to it and looking through the aisles and trying to find the movie that you missed. I just miss those days so much. And just the cover and title alone of Video Violence takes you back to that. But then what the movie's about as well, how there's a video store in the movie and everything. It just gives you this nostalgic feeling. So I've always been a big fan of the first Video Violence. It's fun for what it is, you know. It's not the greatest horror film ever or anything like that, but it's a shot-on-video classic. It's one of the better shot-on-video movies. Now, here's the other side of the slipcase here. Look at that cover artwork for Video Violence 2. Isn't that cool? That is beautiful right there. Now, with Video Violence 2, I am not as big a fan of Video Violence 2 as I am Part 1. I like Part 1 better. And this set, though, has both, which is awesome. It's got both on here. And this thing is loaded with special features. I haven't even unwrapped it yet. It is absolutely loaded with special features. I had the DVD that Camp, it was actually Camp that put out the first DVD release of Video Violence. I had that one, you know, and that came out like 15 years ago or something now. Well, I'm glad to have this nice Blu-ray set of it. All right, guys. I'm down to the last thing that I'm going to show you in this unboxing. Very last thing, and this one is not a Blu-ray. I selected a DVD. I still do buy some movies on DVD too if they don't have a Blu-ray, okay? And this one that I got right here, it's an anthology film. And what it is important to me about it is the very last tale. There are 3 stories in this anthology, and it's all about the last story, okay, for me, for this one. And this movie is called Dead of Night. Dark Sky put this out on DVD. And anyway, the movie, the story that I love in this one is the very last one, and it's called Bobby. Bobby is one of the creepiest segments from an anthology horror film that you'll ever see. It's just, if you haven't seen it, guys, put this movie on, Dead of Night, and go ahead, watch the whole thing, watch the first 2 stories and everything, but just wait till you get to Bobby. I mean, it is creepy as hell. Very creepy, dark atmosphere, very dark and foreboding. The setting is right by the ocean in this dark house, and this woman's there alone, and her son has drowned, and she's doing these satanic rituals trying to get her son to return to her from the dead. And the payoff, man, the suspense throughout this story, throughout the story of Bobby, the suspense is top-notch stuff, man. Great suspense, chilling atmosphere, and the payoff is amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, nightmarish payoff. And I just can't stress that enough about this movie, Dead of Night. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out just for that last story. It's called Bobby. It's great, man. One of the best endings of all time to an anthology horror story. It's just got a great ending. So yeah, guys, let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. Let me know what you think of the movies, and I'll be doing more videos like this as well as individual reviews. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'll be seeing you again really, really soon.